Hello, welcome to my channel. So today we'll be looking at our half scale basic bodice, and the measurements we'll be using, I have my bust measurement, which is 35 inches. My waist is 30 inches. My shoulder measurement 14. My breast point 7 inches. My front half length is 17 inches. Then my back half length 15 inches, and my shoulder to bust measurement, which is 10 inches. So we'll be starting. So firstly, I have to measure out my borders. You can prefer to use your paper like that for drafting. It's not a bad idea, but I normally like to make use of border line. So for the border lines, I will be making use of 1 inches on both sides. For my top line, 1 inch, I'll mark out 1 inch. Then for the side, I'll mark out 1 inch as well. Like I said earlier, this border line is not compulsory. You can decide to use your paper like that. It's not a bad thing, just that I like making use of border line. So in this tutorial, we are learning how to draft out our half scale basic bodice. So you connect both lines. So another thing that we are going to do is to use our bust measurement to get our drafting box. We use the circumference of our bust BUST, to get a drafting box. Now this drafting box will have to contain both the front and the back block. So what I normally do is dividing my box measurement by 2 and add extra inches. Now there are some persons that make use of 2 inches. You can use 3 inches or 4 inches depending on the size of your bust. Now I will have to make use of 3 inches for me. My bust is 35 inches. 35 divided by 2 will have 17.5. 17.5 plus 3 inches is 20.5 inches. Now the width of this box will be 20.5 inches, while the length will be my front half length measurement, which is 17 inches. So our length, the length of this box will be 17 inches. Why the width will be 20.5 inches. So 20.5 inches for the width of our box. Then we'll mark or connect both the lines. Just remember that the length is 17 inches. That's our front half length. Okay, the next thing we'll get is haven't gotten this box, we'll have to divide it into two. We'll have to separate our front and back block. This 20.5. So if you are dividing, we'll have 10.25 to get the half. So after that, the next thing we'll have to get is our chest line. And to get our chest line, we'll divide our bust circumference by 6 and add 1.5 inches. My bust is 35. If I divide 35 by 6, it will give me 5.8. I'll add 1.5 inches, and that would be 7.3. Now, since we'll be adding our shoulder slope, we'll also add 1 inch to the 7.3, giving us 8.3. So we'll mark our 8.3 for our chest line. On both sides. We'll get our chest line for both front and back block. .3 inches. We'll connect all of them. So after connecting, we'll get our from shoulder to breast point for only the front block. You know our back doesn't have bust, so our shoulder to breast point is 10 inches. We'll mark out our 10 inches. Mark out our 10 inches. Remember, this line is our center front. While this other line, this side is our center back. So after marking out our shoulder to bust point, our bust line, remember that we said earlier that our front half length and the back half length are not the same thing. So we need to get our we need to mark out our back half length before we continue. And my back length is 15 inches. So from your borderline, you mark your 15 inches for the back block. And connect. Now this is the length of our half length for the back half length. So this other line is of no use. We'll not be making use of this in this tutorial. So having gotten this, we'll measure out our shoulder. Our shoulder measurement is 14 inches. So we'll divide that by 2. We'll get our, from the center front, we'll mark out 7 inches. 14 by 2 is 7 inches. We'll also mark 7 inches from the back. From the center back, mark out our 7 inches. Then we'll take it down to our chest line. Also mark out 7 inches. For both the front and the back. After marking, you connect. Also mark out 7 inches from the front block. So measure out our neckline. We'll be making use of the basic neckline, which is 3 by 3 for the front and 3 by 1 for the back block. So for my front, I will measure out my 3 by 3 for the neckline. Now we are using this for the purpose of this tutorial. You can decide to add, expand it, or alter the neckline to your desired length, to what you want. But for this tutorial, we're making use of 3 by 3 for the neckline. Then for the back will be 3 by 1 inch. From the center front, your width, your neck width for both front and back must be the same thing. The width, you can decide to increase the length, but you see the width, it has to be the same thing so that it will tally when making the dress. So have to get our shoulder slope. For our front shoulder slope, we'll make use of 1.5 inch, while we'll make use of 1 inch for the back. The slope for the back shoulder and the front are not usually the same length. So for the front, we are using 1.5. I'll make use of 1 inch for the back. Then we'll connect to our neckline. See, our basic bodice is coming out. It's taking its shape. Okay, so now we have to get our bust, measure out our bust. Remember my bust is 35. We are making use of 35. We'll divide it by 2, which will give us 17.5. Now I want to add extra 1 inch to my bust, so that it will not be too tight on me after sewing. So if I add 1 inch to 17.5, it will be 18.5. Now I will divide it by 2, giving me 9.25. 9.25. So we'll measure 9.25 on the chest line for both front and the back block. 9.25. Okay, then I'll have to connect. Now to get our armhole for the front, we need to go up from this our chest line. We'll go up by 3 inches. This for the front block. We'll go up by 3 inches and go in by 0.75. If we go up by 3 inches, we'll go in by 0.75. We'll now connect on a straight line. You connect from your shoulder slope to the 0.75. Then you curve from there to your armhole, to your chest line, to get your armhole. Okay, to get our armhole for the back block, you measure from your shoulder slope down to the chest. Whatever thing you have, you divide it by 2. You divide by 2 just to get the midpoint of whatever thing you have on your back shoulder slope to chest. Then you go in by half, 0.5. Remember, for the front block we went in by 0.75 inch, but for the back we are making use of 0.5 inch. Then we'll connect. Okay, so we've gotten our armhole for both front and back. Now we'll go ahead to measure get our waist. Our waist measurement. Our waist is 30. 30 divided by 4 to be 7.5. Okay, let's say 30 by 2 is 15. 15 by 4, yes, it's 7.5. So from the front, we measure 7.5. Then you add 1.5 inch for our dart. Then for the back, before we measure out our waist, we need to get our zip tightening. You know, sometimes most persons, after sewing their clothes, the zip at the back will be bulgy. So to avoid that, to make our zip to relax very well, we have to go in by 0.75. Now we can make use of 0.5, but I want to make use of 0.5 so that it will take out every excess at the back. So from your center back, you mark out 0.5 and connect it straight to your neckline. Take it straight. So this line now, will not be making use of it again. So from there you get your waist, which is 7.5. You add your 1.5 for your dart. Then connect it to your chest line. Now to get your dart, remember we have our breast point measurement. You divide your breast point measurement by 2. My breast point is 7 inches. 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5. So from the center front, I'll be going in my 3.5 inches. 3.5. I'll mark it up to my bust line. You connect the 2 lines. Then remember we removed 1.5 for our dart. So for the 1.5, we divide it by 2, giving us 0.75. So we take 0.75 on the both sides of the dart. And connect it. From our bust line, you have to come down by 1 inch, so that the bust will not go straight to our bust, will not stop at our bust. So we'll come down by 1 inch. So this bust will stop, this dart will stop at this 1 inch. So we'll connect our dart. So get our 3.5 from this line. We are not making use of this original, our initial center back line. We are no more using it. So we'll start from this line here. We'll start from this line here and measure out our 3.5. This line is no longer straight. If we should start from here again, we will not get our straight line for this dart. We will not get a straight line. So what we will do is to start, we'll measure, we've gotten our 3.5 already for this down part, for the waistline. So we'll measure from our original center back line to know what we will get. We'll measure from there, and this 4.25. So we'll come to the chest line and measure from 4.25 from the original line. The reason for this is to get a straight line for this dart at the back. The back is no longer straight because of the zip tightening that we added. You now come down by 1 from the chest. Then divide your 1.5. That's 0.75. 0.75. You connect your dart. So we are almost done. For those of us that haven't subscribed to our channels, please try and do that and turn on your notification button, so that each time we post our new videos, you will be updated. Now we need to get our bust dart. What we'll be making use of is the difference between the front half length and the back half length. Our front half length is 17, while the back is 15, and the difference between the two is 2 inches. So from our bust line, we'll come down, measure 2 inches, and connect to our bust point. That's our bust. That's our bust dart. So this is the end of our class for today. You can go through it and feel free to drop your questions at the comment section. Thank you.